Hello, and welcome to Turn to Your Doom, a Choose Your Own Adventure podcast where we read a Choose Your Own Adventure book and we choose the adventure that we're going on. My name is Faith, and today we're going to be reading The Warlock and the Unicorn, and my chooser of adventures is, of course, Art.
Hi.
Are you ready for some more unicorn shenanigans?
Yeah, I'm ready to, I guess, find a warlock and get the shit rock out of me.
Yeah, so The Warlock and the Unicorn, this is a sequel to, The Magic of the Unicorn, I believe is... Yeah, Magic of the Unicorn. I believe we're the same character as we were before. And it is written by the same person as well, Deborah, Lerme, Goodman. So that's cool. I can't tell when this was initially published, but it was republished in 2023, so this is fresh. Fresh. But yeah, are you excited for some unicorn shenanigans? Maybe we get to wrestle another magical manlet?
Maybe.
Hopefully we don't we don't step on a nail and fall off a roof in front of the entire town again.
I mean, I definitely love ringing a bell right before what looks like an actual
calling
meet.
Where you're about to completely fuck up.
like one of two things: either you're ringing the bell because you want everyone to see you jump because of suicide, or because you think you're fine jumping up.
Jeez.
One of those.
Yeah. Okay. So quick recap of The Magic of the Unicorn. You are an orphan. You're a teenage girl. Is the main character. Your town is going through both a drought, and the water that you do have is bad. It's contaminated in some way. So you had to find a way to basically either escape your town, which was quite a few endings where you just didn't go back because they sucked. Or you were supposed to find a way to purify the water. And one of the ways that you were told you could do that was by finding a unicorn. But yeah, we had all sorts of fun endings with that book. Besides the wrestling the warlock, and falling off a roof in front of everybody you've ever known.
Yeah, there's also the ending where you just get stuck in a tunnel.
Oh god, yeah, under the church.
Die.
Yep. Let's see, there's an ending where you learn how to you make magical tapestries. That one was cool. There's one where you become an alchemist apprentice. There's one where you get locked in a dungeon and a unicorn saves you. Yeah, there was a lot of them. It was fun. It was a good book. So I'm excited for more. But yeah, shall we get this party started? All right. Even though it's early May, snow still blankets the ground in Flanders. By now, there should be green furrows in the soil, but the only furrows you see are on the anxious faces of your neighbors in the village. Sheep and cows should be grazing on fresh spring grass, but they desperately poke their noses at the snow, growing hungrier each day. Everyone is worried about running out of food before spring crops can be harvested. Everyone looks at you expectantly. They know you can't control the weather, but they remember that just a year ago, in 1507, you saved the villagers by finding a unicorn to purify the water of their well. You need a unicorn again. However, this time, it has to be a silver unicorn. And who knows if that even exists. Oh, so this is...
Okay. First off, I already have something. Fuck these people. They suck.
They did suck. I remember some of our favorite endings are where we just let them die.
These people suck so hard. It's like, oh, you have to find the impossible, but this time, I don't know.
Like
might not
extra
even exist
impossible.
This time.
Oh god, that reminds me.
These guys suck.
There was an ending where we turned into a unicorn.
Yeah, I remember that one.
That one was cool. Anyways, yeah, these people suck. We also learned last time that the chance of you contracting leprosy is extremely low. Even when exposed to it.
Yeah, it takes like a lot of exposure. for you to get leprosy.
You have to have extremely close contact over a long period of time. And even if you, like, even if the bacteria ends up in you, there's, like, less than a 20% chance that it will actually infect you, that you'll actually develop leprosy.
Which is why you should lick every single 9-band armadillo you see.
Oh, yes. Just get your mouth on there.
Yeah.
Yep. The local warlock has decided he wants a silver unicorn and won't let winter end until he gets one. The villagers are used to the warlock's whims, so they don't question the fact that he thinks a silver unicorn would be a pretty thing to have. What the warlock wants, he usually gets. He reasons that if people aren't busy planting, they'll have time to search for a silver unicorn. What's more, if they're hungry, they'll have to go into the forest to scavenge for food, and they can just as easily keep an eye out for a silver unicorn. The only thing is, weeks have passed and no one has even glimpsed a silver unicorn. You trudge through the snow to Marie Claire's cottage. She's the oldest person in the village and your special friend. You know it's hard for her to get around in the snow, so you want to see if she needs any help. Also, maybe she'll offer you a bite to eat. Your empty stomach rumbles. As Marie Claire hands you a cup of hot water with some herbs floating on the surface, she says, "I'm sorry I can't offer you milk, but my cow isn't eating enough to give me any now. This unending winter." You see that she's fighting back tears. You understand immediately that Marie Claire is wondering how much longer she can live unless spring comes. "I'm going to find the silver unicorn," you announce with more confidence than you feel. "If anyone can find a unicorn, it's me." Marie Claire pats your hand. "That's very brave of you," she says.
That's very brave for such a small idiot to say.
For such a tiny, stupid girl. But I'm not sure it's a good idea. Even if you find a silver unicorn and deliver it to the warlock, what's next? He might allow us spring this year, but the next time he wants something. He knows that all he has to do is extend winter, and he'll do whatever he says. The problem is not finding a silver unicorn. The problem is the warlock, which is why we should kill him.
Which is why we should rise up and cut his head off. Because we have overwhelming force. Which
is why we obviously need to have a blanket party. You'll never know who actually beat the shit out of him. Especially if it's all of us. You're silent for a while. You feel even less certain about managing the warlock than you do about finding a silver unicorn. What am I supposed to do about the warlock, you ask? Even if I could defeat him, and I'm not sure I can, it doesn't make sense, because who would end winter for us if he's gone? "Oh no, you can't overpower the warlock," Marie Claire quickly agrees. "I'm not sure that's even possible. Even though he is incredibly dangerous, you might be able to trick him, or make some kind of a deal with him." She lovingly strokes your cheek. I wish it didn't have to be you to take this kind of risk." You look at her skeptically. Anything involving the warlock sounds frightening. Maybe I should try to find the silver unicorn and let everyone else handle the warlock. "It's your decision. Everyone will be grateful no matter what you decide," says Marie Claire. "But sooner or later, someone has to deal with that warlock. If you decide to search for the silver unicorn, turn to page 6. If you decide to deal directly with the warlock, turn to page 8. Our first branch in the road.
Do we want to do the smart thing where you march up with a small peasant army?
Where we just stab him to death.
Yes.
Because he's not expecting that.
Also, that's just what you're supposed to do.
You just violently kill anyone who oppresses you.
Yeah. If they're doing violence against you, you do violence in kind.
Yeah.
I mean...
Unicorn, warlock. Unicorn, warlock. But if we find a unicorn, the unicorn can also stab the warlock. They're kind of known for stabbing things.
Yeah, real warlocks, not the wussy warlocks that we show our children.
Not the ones in the media.
They're not the lamestream media ones. I am truly lost because, like, you think this would be an easy question, but, like, I don't think it is. Okay, pros. The wizard just kills us and we don't have to deal with anything, and then the village also dies.
Yeah.
So pro. Not con, pro. Con. I can't think of anything that would be a con on that one. Let's deal with the wizard directly. Let's see what happens with direct, is it democracy? No. Let's do direct protest.
Direct action.
Yeah.
Okay.
Take it to the head honcho.
Okay, so I turn to page 8. You're right, you tell Marie Claire. I have to deal with the Warlock directly. And maybe I can try to talk him out of this crazy desire for a silver unicorn. Maybe if he knew how much we were suffering. Marie Claire shakes her head. No, you're going to need magic, and much more magic than the little bit I can create. If I were you, I would see if the sorceress can help you. Is her magic as powerful?
Yay!
Yeah, we met her in the last book. She can turn into a tornado. She was actually really helpful. Like, we just showed up at her cave. We're like, hey, I need a unicorn. She's like, oh, okay. This is where you gotta go.
Look at that fucking unicorn over there. What?
What? She's like, it's in the forest. Go right here. Anyways, it's a different magic. The sorceress is rarely evil, so if you can find her, she'll probably be willing to help you. Whether she can end the Warlock spell is hard to say. I know you managed to find the sorceress last year, but now that her location has been discovered, I doubt she's still there. Finding her again might be a challenge. You remember all the trouble you went through to find the sorceress last year. You're right, finding the sorceress might not be easier than finding a silver unicorn. Do you have any other ideas, you ask? You could try to lure the Warlock to the stream of lost memories. Maybe if he steps in it, he'll forget he wanted a silver unicorn. That would be so funny.
Okay. What is this? What? Why don't you make him drink the water or
That's
something?
So
it's
funny.
A lot easier.
Can you just imagine luring him there? And he's like, it's cold. And you're like, yeah, winter's still on. And he's like, what? No, it's over.
This sucks. I know, doesn't it?
Why am I in a river? It's just so much. The stream of lost memories, you exclaim? What's that? It's a place where people go to forget children and lovers they've lost. You can't believe what you're hearing about this. You can't believe you're hearing about this for the first time. How come I never knew about this before? There's no reason for you to know, says Marie Claire. You've never been sad enough. You stand up indignantly. My parents died. I think I know what sadness is. She has,
God,
she has a point.
Okay. I love this book so far. It would have been a little funnier, just like, why do I have any meaning of this? Is like, yes, you've been there many times.
See, that's what I was expecting. I was expecting her to say that. Yeah, you've been there. Oh, of course you wouldn't remember.
No, but there's something funnier about being like, well, you have no reason to. It's just like, I cry every night because my parents are dead.
I'm an orphan.
I'm the definition of one of the saddest things you could be. You're like, shut up.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Okay. I don't have parents anymore. Well, guess what? I'm old.
There's nothing worse than that. Marie Claire takes your hand consolingly. No, with you it was different. It's important that you remember everything about your parents. They wouldn't have wanted you to forget them. This is for people with hopeless, broken hearts. Okay, that's actually a good point. As you choke back tears, you notice the icicles formed by leaks in Marie Claire's roof. One more snowstorm and her roof might collapse. Tell me what happens with the stream. People wade in and they forget everything? Marie Claire shivers. It's risky. You can never be sure which memory will be washed away. Sometimes people have to go in several times before they forget the memory that pains them. You probably won't get more than one chance with the Warlock. That sounds dangerous. Maybe it's better to look for the sorceress. Although it was pretty hard to find her last year, you say. None of this is going to be easy, Marie Claire tells you, but no one else seems to be doing anything about the fact that we're going to starve if spring doesn't arrive very soon. If you decide to get help from the sorceress, turn to page 14. If you decide to lure the warlock into the stream of lost memories, turn to page 17.
So the funnier one would definitely be trying to lure the warlock into the stream. Because I'm trying to think of how you would do that. Because, like, so they have to be in the stream.
Yes.
So
physically they have to
drown
get
him?
Yeah. Does he know that it is the stream of lost memories?
Well, like, what if one of the memories he lost was that was the stream of lost memories?
Yeah. That'd be so
But,
funny. That would be so funny. Then you just dunk him again.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. Let's go with the funnier one.
Getting him into the stream.
Because I just don't know how you would do it. That's the thing. Because first off, like, he's not like the warrior. He's a warlock, which I assume he would have some range-based spell if he could control the weather.
Yeah.
So you can't just, like, get on a boat and float across and be like, no, you can't get me. Because, like, you'd just be like, Eldritch Bolt or Eldritch Lightning. Yeah. Did I forget the warlock? Eldritch Blast. Yeah, I forgot the warlock spell.
Eldritch Blast.
It's Eldritch Blast, but
so
like,
it can turn into, like, if you have the spell that gives you more range, it can turn into Eldritch Spear. Anyways.
So, like, it could, but like, I just feel
Semantics.
like it'd be harder unless you're just like on a boat and you're just like, not this character because they're a child. But like, if you're just like, ooh, I'm a sexy lady and I'm getting all naked, if you get over here, I'll fuck you or something. Like, maybe that would work. Not this character.
If you get in this cold river with me.
like it'd be.
Oh, sorry. That's funny.
Yeah, like maybe that would work if they're, if he was cum-brained enough. But even then, like, I don't think, like, I just don't know how this is going to work unless you can physically drown him.
I just found a picture. The next page, the choice we took, there's a picture of the warlock. He is a manlet.
Oh, we must have been a very young girl to just, like, get our shit rocked by him.
He is a man. He looks wide, though. We are pretty small compared to him.
Well, also people, I think one of the things that people also overlook is manlets often can hide a lot of mass.
Yeah. They're usually, they're like, secretly buff.
Not even, maybe not, I wouldn't even say secretly buff. They're just, they just have a lot of mass, just in general.
Oh, yeah.
That because they're compact.
They're hard to knock over. They have a low center of gravity.
So, yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe he was a wrestler.
There you go.
Yeah,
so us trying to suplex him really wouldn't work.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so page 17. Tell me how to find the stream of lost memories, you say. You listen intently as Marie Claire describes its location. You'll have to lure the warlock there, she says. It's going to be a long walk from here. The warlock has been spending the winter, and you'd better be careful he doesn't try anything devilish along the way. You shudder at the thought of spending so much time with the warlock. I'll be careful, you reply. Marie Claire hugs you goodbye. You hope she'll be all right while you're away. In winter, the fastest and easiest way to travel is along the frozen river. You stop at your own cottage to get your skates. At the riverbank, you strap on your skates on and step onto the ice. You wave to your neighbors. Some are fishing from holes cut in the ice, and younger kids are skating around playing tag. You don't tell them where you're going. When you reach the windmill, you climb onto the snowy riverbank and remove your skates. You wedge them between some large rocks and pile a little snow on top of them. Then you start trudging through the snow to where the warlock is, rumored to spend winter. You come to a man sitting on a stone wall. You're about to ask if he'd seen the warlock when you notice he's eating a bird. You gasp with horror as feathers flutter from his mouth. He looks up at you with his red eyes, and you know...
Oh, he's eating a live bird. He could have said live bird.
It just says eating a bird. He looks up at you with his red eyes, and you know you found the Warlock. Yeah, I'd say so. You try to hide your revulsion. You say cheerfully, I found a silver unicorn for you. The Warlock finishes crunching some bones and wipes a feather off his lip. Where is it? It's a few hours away from here, you reply, and suddenly you think again about how awful that time with him will be. Go get it, the Warlock orders. He picks up some feathers from his lap and pops them in his mouth. I tried, you say, but this silver unicorn is really large. It's much bigger than any regular unicorn. And look at me, I'm a kid. I need your help to get it. The Warlock smiles eagerly. Just how big is it? Quite a bit bigger than any horse I've ever seen. All right, says the Warlock eagerly. Take me there. You lead the Warlock through the forest. Having him walk behind you makes you very nervous, so you glance back at him from time to time. His red eyes are riveted on you. Trudging through the snowy forest is exhausting. Your nose, ears, and fingers are freezing, but the rest of you is sweating with exertion. You hear the Warlock make strange snorting sounds, and quickly look back to see if he's getting ready to do something evil. What's that sound, you ask? Were you making magic? The Warlock laughs. How little you know about magic. If I were casting a spell, you'd be sure... I'd make sure you didn't hear it. That makes you even more nervous. You decide to make conversation to distract him from getting any devilish ideas.
That's right, I'm actually a sorcerer, and I have the metamagic feat silent casting.
Or I have a feat that lets me take a metamagic thing like that.
That's right, I just cast delayed fireball.
Oh, fuck. That makes you even more nervous. You decide to make conversation to distract him from getting any devilish ideas. Do you know how much everyone is suffering because of this unending winter? You ask him. The Warlock snickers. How would I know? Just then, it occurs to you that he maybe really doesn't know the misery he's caused. You could make him understand, but how? Maybe you could tell him a story to explain how hard it's been. You could exaggerate a little and put in some dramatic twist to get your point across. Or maybe you could just bring him to your village so he could see for himself. If he saw how difficult life was there, maybe he would end winter. How will your neighbors feel about the Warlock showing up? Maybe it's just best to continue on to the stream of lost memories, even though it's still hours away. If you decide to tell him a story of winter suffering, turn to page 33. If you invite him to your village, turn to page 46. If you decide to continue to the stream of lost memories, turn to page 75.
God, these are all potentially really funny endings. Okay, so we can do so we can be a liberal about it. And tell a story.
Yeah, we could spin a yarn of suffering.
We could, try to do what, presidents do and, take him to a place so they can look sad for a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And then not do anything.
You got it. Yeah.
Or we could drown an old man in a river while he's forgetting everything.
Sorry. Whatever you want to do, buddy.
Ah, God, all of these are potentially just rife with so much fun. Let's just continue on to our journey. I feel like we're too far.
To the stream of lost memories.
Yeah, we've gone too far. Might as well go the rest of the way.
Okay, so page 75. You know you've reached the stream of lost memories when you come to a shallow river of deep blue water. There's even a bit of steam rising from it. We have to wade across, you tell the Warlock. There's no bridge, but the water looks shallow. There's something almost mesmerizing about the water. Have you ever seen anything so blue? The Warlock stands beside you at the edge of the stream. This isn't frozen. That means it's enchanted. He pokes at you and says, you go first. There's no way you're going to step into the stream of lost memories. You take a deep breath, and then with all the power you can muster, shove the Warlock into the stream.
Yes, drown the old man, drown the old man, drown the old man.
Yes! He's quick, however, and stronger than you. So he grabs you, both of your bodies splash into the warm water. You spit out some water, sit up, and wipe from your eyes. Besides you, the Warlock is floating on his back. He's smiling. He rolls over in the water and sits up. Remind me why we're here, he says. You look at him in confusion. You have no idea why you're here either. Remember, he's the Warlock, but why are you sitting in a stream with him? Is he your friend? The Warlock watches you climb out of the stream onto the snowy bank. Your wet body is freezing. I'm tired of snow, he announces, and I don't want to be cold when I get out of the water. He slaps his hands and drops of enchanted water fly into the air. He continues clapping a weird beat that stops and starts with no apparent rhythm. You hug yourself and rub your arms to warm up. The sunlight seems to grow stronger. You wring the water out of your hat and hair, and then pause. Is that the sound of birds singing? You squeeze the water from your shawl and flap it to dry out. The air is definitely warming up. I'm going home now, you tell the Warlock, and you search your mind to remember where home is. With a sinking feeling, you realize you've forgotten where you live. Winter ends, but you never find your way home. The end.
Okay.
I knew it. I knew he'd be like, it's cold. I'm stopping winter.
I'm tired of this shit, Grandpa.
He literally is. He's like, I'm tired of this. Oh my gosh. Well then, that was quite an ending.
That was an ending. Maybe. Let's do the liberal thing. We're gonna tell him a story.
Okay, so page 33. Oh, sorry, I got really confused by this. It does a big jump. Okay. Let me tell you a story, you tell the Warlock. You stop walking and turn to face him. The Warlock looks skeptical, but says nothing. Once upon a time, there was a small village along a river in Flanders. People have lived there for hundreds of years, but this story begins more recently, maybe 70 or 80 years ago, when a unicorn appeared carrying a little girl. She was riding the unicorn? The Warlock asks. She was too young to know how to ride properly, so she really just sat on the unicorn's back and clutched the mane. Her hair was almost as pale as the unicorn's fur, and all her clothing was white. To everyone's surprise, the child only spoke French, which means she must have traveled a great distance from France. No one could understand anything she said, except that her name was Marie Claire. What happened to the unicorn? Asked the Warlock. Later that day, as soon as Marie Claire was adopted by a couple without children, the unicorn disappeared. But for many years, the villagers called her the Unicorn Girl. All this took place when Marie Claire was so young that she's never been able to explain what happened. Some people say the unicorn rescued her from some tragedy, but others say she's a ghost of another unicorn. Then there are other people who think she was a unicorn transformed into a human child. The Warlock scowls. Why would anybody think that? Well, for many years, when Marie Claire was outside around twilight, you could see a shadowy image of a unicorn near her, a ghost unicorn. You couldn't touch this unicorn. In fact, if you tried to, your hand would go right through it as if it were a cloud. You pause to pull your hat down over your ears, which are now beginning to freeze. The mysterious thing is, once Marie Claire married, the ghost unicorn was never seen again. That's a good story! I'm not done, you say. Marie Claire still lives in the village. She's the oldest person there. She knows a million things about healing, so she's very important to us. This unending winter has been very hard on her health. I'm afraid she'll die. Even if she doesn't, it looks like the snow might cause her roof to collapse, and then she'll be homeless. But the big problem is that everyone in the village is going to run out of food very soon. We really need to plant our spring crops, or this will definitely be Marie Claire's last winter. You look at the Warlock expectantly. And then I have to go really far into the book. I suppose I could end winter, but there's one condition, he says. You need to visit me every day to tell me a story. Your heart sinks. Every day? Every day, he insists. If you miss one day, I'll bring back winter. Okay, you agree. I'll meet you here tomorrow. Even though having to tell a story to the Warlock every day sounds awful, you remind yourself at least you've saved your village, maybe all of Flanders, from the winter without an end. As the days pass, you start to enjoy thinking up stories, and you practice telling them first to your neighbors. Everyone loves your tales, and people offer to take over your farm chores so you can focus on creating stories. Your life as a storyteller has begun. The end. I like how he just wants some entertainment.
Okay, I'm gonna be I'm gonna be 100% with you with this one. Yes, please tell me anything. There's nothing to do right now.
Yeah. Wow, it's so boring because I made it winter. There's nothing to do but eat live birds. And that's getting stale. Alright, so our other option was to bring him to the village. Come with me.
Let's bring him to the village.
Yeah, let's show him our people. Come with me to my village. We can stop there on the way to the Silver Unicorn. We could warm up before continuing our journey, you say to the Warlock. You try to muster a welcoming smile, even though part of you wonders if this is really a good idea. You tell yourself the Warlock will surely end winter when he sees how badly the villagers are suffering. The Warlock turns his red eyes to the sky, then slowly scans the forest around you. He shrugs. Sure, let's go. I wouldn't mind a snack, if not too far out of the way. A snack? Does he realize the villagers are starving? You turn towards home, wondering what on earth you'll be able to find for a snack. You hear the Warlock panting behind you. At the edge of the forest where the snowy fields of your village begin, you pause. You can see your neighbors walking in the lanes between cottages, and you yearn to be home. Come on, we're almost there, you call to the Warlock. As you approach the village, you notice your neighbors have stopped moving. They're just standing, watching you. You wave your hand in greeting, but no one waves back. Hi, it's me, you shout. Then a snowball hits you in the chest. You realize everyone is making snowballs, and soon you are pummeled by snow. Should you continue on? You've come this far with the Warlock. You'd hate to give up now. However, that is not exactly a warm welcome. They're just making fun with snowballs, you tell the Warlock, when he catches up to you. Take his hand and step forward. Suddenly, a rock hits the Warlock. He drops your hand and snarls like a wolf. Who dares attack the Warlock? Now you find out just how fierce winter can be. No, you cry, but it's too late. The Warlock wraps his arms to his chest, and then turns and circles, faster and faster, until he's spinning with inhuman speed. He abruptly stops, and his arms fly open, unleashing a terrible blizzard. The wind howls and the temperature plunges. The snow is blinding. You can't open your eyes enough to find your way home. In just minutes, you are completely encased in ice. The Warlock eventually ends winter everywhere, except for your village. No one there survives, and people in Flanders call it the place of eternal winter. In summer, a few brave people come to get some snow, to cool their drinks, but most of the time, everyone stays far, far away. The end.
I want to feel some, but I don't. So.
Yeah, no, these people suck.
Yeah, these people suck.
I know they're medieval peasants, but still.
You found a unicorn once. It's like, yeah, it's like a once-in-a-lifetime thing, my dudes.
Yeah. This doesn't happen every day.
This is why you don't try hard at work. They just give you more work, and none of the benefits.
Yeah, exactly. Alright, so now we have to go all the way back. That's the end of that tree. So instead of trying to lure the Warlock into the stream of lost memories, instead we can go to find the sorceress for help. So on page 14, if I'm going to need magic, you say, the sorceress is my best bet. Do you think I should at least look where I found her last winter? Marie Claire shrugs. With the sorceress, you never know. You may as well start there. Good luck, and give her my regards. Last year, the sorceress was living in the hills outside the village. You can skate there, so it's a long, slow slog. You can't skate there, so it's a long, slow slog through the snow. Unfortunately, when everything is covered in snow, it's hard to tell one hill from another. You are soon cold and exhausted. You pause to catch your breath. The woods seems strangely quiet. There's no chatter of squirrels or chirps of birds. Suddenly, a lavender tornado slowly whirls past you, winding between the trees. You remember the sorceress telling you that she did her best thinking when she was disguised as wind. So this must be her. But how do you get her attention? You have to act quickly. If you call out to her, will she hear you when she's the wind? Maybe you should just throw yourself into the tornado to make her stop.
What? Why? What is the thought process?
I love this child.
Like, God, I know children aren't like known to be like super smart. I understand that.
She's trying her best.
Her best almost gets her killed half the time.
She's just so stupid.
like maybe the reason why they sent her out is because she was a useless eater. And they're just like, we'd have enough food. We'd have enough food if she's gone.
Like, she found a unicorn once, but ever since then, woof.
I think touching unicorn horn is like eating too many lead paint chips. Like, she stares into the middle distance a lot, and she doesn't seem to understand anything anymore.
She experienced ego death, and now she's just not the same. Well, what do you want to do? Do you want to call out, or do you want to jump into the tornado?
Let's jump into the tornado.
Okay, we'll turn to page 93.
God damn.
Sorry, it's like 2 paragraphs. You stumble through the snow and throw your body into the purple tornado. Magic Mother of Merlin, what was that? You hear right before your body explodes into thousands of tiny pieces. For a second, a bit of your brain understands what must be happening, but then that bit collides with a minuscule portion of your chin and your world goes dark. The end.
Fuck, that is such a good. That is so good. That's one of the best endings.
I like how the sorceress is like, what the fuck is that? And then
Probably
she's
also traumatizing
just
too.
covered in your gore. And she says,
just a tornado just circling your body parts.
and if she stops, it's just gonna rain pieces of you down on her.
God, you ruined her fucking year.
This is so funny.
Oh God, that is so good.
You've done it again, Deborah Goodman. Oh my god. Holy shit.
Oh God, I love
This book is so good. I had to take a drink of my soda.
God, I'm reeling from that.
Holy shit. That's like some shit you'd see in The Boys. Man, who cares about the Warlock? Damn. Oh my god. Fuck. I know, I opened the page and there's 2 tiny paragraphs. I was like, oh shit. This is gonna be good. I could just tell. Oh my god. Okay, let's do the other option.
God, why? Okay,
Jesus.
I know the reason why they put that option is because they just wanted to do one of the most metal fucking endings that you can do.
Deborah Goodman is like, what if we have an ending where the protagonist explodes? And Chuzka was like, I don't know. Seems a little heavy.
Because, like, the more you think about that ending, the worse it gets.
Oh, God. That poor sorceress. Like, she's just like, zooming around. She's probably, like, thinking of new magic spells. And you just throw yourself into her and explode.
God damn.
God. Okay. Let's do the path where we, like, yell at her instead of just jumping into her. Fuck. Sorceress, you yell towards the swirling lavender wind. Sorceress, I need your help. The tornado weaves its way between trees until the last lavender wisp is out of sight. You sigh in disappointment. You're sure that was the sorceress, and now you've missed your chance. You just resume walking when a blur of silvery sheen catches your eyes. Moving slowly between the trees is something furry. It's not exactly silver, but maybe it's a unicorn. Or could this be the sorceress? As you get closer, you soon realize it's not a unicorn, but a person wrapped in a silver-flecked furs. Even though the sorceress wore purple the last time you saw her, maybe this is her winter wardrobe.
Maybe people have more than one clothing.
Yeah. Sorceress, you call. The person turns to face you. A pair of red eyes stares at you, and your heart stops. This is not the sorceress. Are you the Warlock? You stammer. No, that's my little brother you're thinking of. I believe I'm called the Witch. But I do have a name. Bora. She blinks her red eyes calmly, and your fear melts just a little. We aren't close, she continues. But I need to find him right now. This winter can't go on. You sigh with relief. You're going to tell him to end winter, you ask? Bora rolls her eyes. You must not have had a little brother, or you would know he won't listen to anything I say. No, I'm going to undo this ridiculous spell. That's great news, thank you, you say. But if you're a witch, why can't you just cast a spell to end winter yourself right now? Spells are tricky.
Why can't you just cast a spell to end winter? Shut up, that's what you sound like.
Whatever. Not everything's so simple. God. This is why I live out here. Spells are tricky, says Bora, especially layering one spell on top of another. There are bound to be unforeseen complications. It's much wiser to undo his spell than to layer another on top of it. You nod. You're excited to learn a little more about magic. There's just one problem, says Bora. I've been wandering around Flanders for a couple of weeks now, and I can't find him. He must have moved since I saw him about 80 years ago. 80 years ago? How old are you? You can't help asking, because Bora doesn't look wizened at all. Let's just say there are only a few thousand-year-old oaks that are more ancient than me. She waves her arms around the forest. All this is new. I'm not sure these trees were even there the last time I saw my brother. People say he's spending the winter in some ruins near the windmill. I can help you find him, you tell her. Thank you. That would be wonderful, says Bora. In fact, if you don't mind becoming a spy, I need you to find out more about what kind of spell he's used for extending winter. I can't undo what I don't understand. You love the idea.
Also, here's a gun. Shoot him. Just shoot him dead.
Here's a sniper rifle with a long range, 8x scope. Jesus. From the sounds of it, she would do that. You love the idea of becoming a spy. How many different kinds of spells can there be, you ask? Bora pauses to think. For extending winter, I imagine he could use any number of spells. Maybe he wrote it on the earth. Maybe it's a spell of sound or a spell of breath. He could even could have made all the rats in Flanders carry winter with them. It's almost certainly not an edible spell, but it could be a spell carried by water. You wouldn't have to learn every detail of the spell, just what kind it is. I can do that. Feeling very excited, you lead Bora along the banks of the river to the windmill. Wait here. I'll come back when I know more. Walking away from the river, you trudge towards the ruins of a stone cottage. No one has wanted to live there since the plague more than 100 years ago. But the Warlock moved in at the start of winter. He says the plague has been gone for ages, and besides, he's a Warlock. He's not afraid of diseases, and he's not afraid of ghosts. You look around to see if the Warlock is nearby. Hello? Hello? You call into what seems to be the entrance, only for your voice to echo back. Do you dare enter the house? Or do you dare enter the home where plague killed the occupants years ago? Has enough time passed? You might find some of the Warlock's magical tools. It's probably safer to wait outside for him to show up. If you step inside the collapsed cottage, turn to page 105. If you think it's better to wait outside for the Warlock's return, turn to page 56.
I say you go in and you start licking. Just start licking everything.
just put your mouth on every rock you can see. Don't hesitate.
Yeah.
If it can,
if
it's small enough to fit in your mouth, put it in there. If it's too big, lick it.
Become a baby.
Exactly. Become an axolotl.
Yeah. Let's go in. I feel like people get a little weird about diseases, old diseases.
Yeah. It's obvious that we don't know anything about leprosy, considering how we treated the lepers. Plus, it's been 100 years.
Yeah.
It's probably fine. All right. You poke your head into the entrance and try calling the Warlock again. Taking a deep breath to summon your courage, you duck your head and step into the ruins. It's a mess. Over the years, stones have fallen apart, fallen, and part of the roof has collapsed. You can see that the Warlock has made a table of sorts by propping a plank on some larger rocks. There's a pile of fur where maybe he sleeps. You were just lifting one of the furs to look underneath when you hear a gasp behind you. Quickly, you turn around to face a short, bearded man standing with his hands on his hips, his red eyes blazing. "What are you doing here?" he growls. You cower behind the table. You're too scared to answer. The Warlock grabs your shoulder and yanks you towards him. His eyes are only inches from yours, and you can smell rotten meat on his breath. "Who are you?" he demands.
And I'm so sorry.
That's where are you?
I
Where
know,
are you? And I'm so sorry. I cannot sleep. I cannot cry tonight. I need somebody as always. Bora, you shout, "Help me!" "Oh," says the Warlock. "You're with my sister." He grasps your shoulders and pulls you even closer. You try not to look into his eyes, but somehow you can't avoid them. His eyes are locked on yours. Soon, all you see is glowing red. It seems like the whole universe is pulsing red. You blink a few times, then the red turns to black. You feel your heart slow and then stop. The end.
Oh, that's okay.
Huh.
Cool, rad. They really got you.
Yeah, damn. Fuck. Alright, so let's wait outside instead of breaking and entering. Not that you really are. Can it really be breaking and entering if the house has no door?
That's what cops think.
See? Alright, so if instead we decide to wait for him, you stand outside the remains of the cottage while you wait for the Warlock to return. Luckily, it's only a matter of minutes before you see a man with a red hat scurrying between trees towards you. When you see his red eyes, even brighter than his hat, you're sure it's the Warlock. "What are you doing here?" he asks suspiciously. "Because of you, I've been thrown out of my village," you tell him. You sniffle and pretend to cry. "Because of me?" "Everyone in my village is mad at you for extending winter. I keep telling them you must have a good reason, and that you're not just being cruel. They said if I think so highly of you, maybe I should go live with you, so here I am. Can I be your assistant?" The Warlock scowls. "I don't need an assistant." "You must have a lot to do," you insist. "I can help you." Of course, the idea of spending that much time with him sends chills up your spine. Really hope you don't have to go inside the pile of stones that used to be the cottage. The Warlock looks skeptical. "Please," you beg. "Well," he says, "my home is a bit of a mess. I suppose you could clean it." You hesitate. It's been more than a century since the plague killed the people who lived there. But going inside is still very spooky. You remind yourself you offered to be a spy, so you have to be brave. Ducking your head, you step into what remains of the cottage. Fallen stones lie everywhere, and a thin dusting of dirt covers everything. You start by straightening out a pile of animal skins that you assume is the Warlock's bed, but the place really needs to be swept. You look around for a broom. What are you supposed to clean with? You could tell the Warlock you need to gather pine boughs to make a broom, and use that opportunity to check in with Deborah. But the Warlock wasn't so enthusiastic about having you around to start with. If you leave, even temporarily, will he allow you back? Will he think you're shirking your job? If you tell the Warlock you need to go get pine boughs to make a broom, turn to page 66. If you think it's better not to leave yet, turn to page 89.
Well, if he wants the place clean.
Yeah, do you want me to fucking sweep or not, dude?
Let's tell him that we need to be able to make a broom.
Okay. Page 66. Okay. When you step outside the ruined cottage, the Warlock says, "You can't be finished already." You reply, "No, I'm not. I need a broom. I'm going to gather some evergreen branches to make something to sweep with." He looks at you suspiciously. As you head back out towards the windmill where Deborah waits, you whistle a cheerful tune so she will hear you approaching. You're excited to be a spy and optimistic that you'll be part of the magic that ends the winter. You imagine how grateful the villagers will be. When you reach the windmill, Deborah steps out of the shadows and says, "You're back already?" Before you can answer, something lands on your back, knocking you to the ground. Your face is jammed into the snow. "Deborah!" you hear the Warlock exclaim, and you realize it's him who's pinning you to the ground. "Get off that child," says Deborah icily. The Warlock stands, yanking you up with him. His hot hand is tight around your throat. It's very hard to breathe, and you start to panic. "Why are you here, Deborah?" the Warlock demands and gives your neck a forceful shake. "I'm trying to talk some sense into you," she replies. "Are you trying to kill everyone in Flanders? This winter has got to end." "It will end when I get my silver unicorn," he insists. At this point, you're choking. You try to pry the Warlock's hand off your neck, but he's much more powerful than you. Deborah sighs with exasperation. "There are no silver unicorns, you fool. Don't make me unleash my full power. You know very well my magic is stronger than yours, little brother." You wave your hands frantically, trying to get Deborah's attention. Before the Warlock can answer, Deborah places her hand over his. You feel the pressure around your neck weaken. The Warlock howls and releases you. You collapse to your knees and take deep gulps of air. When you look up, you see the Warlock is shaking his arms in the air. His hands seem to have melted into fingerless knobs of flesh, and his howls are turned to screeches of rage. Deborah helps you up to your feet and puts her arm around you. "Winter will never end now," shouts the Warlock. "It was a clapping spell, and now I don't have the hands to undo it." Deborah laughs. "Yes, but I do, and now that I know it's a clapping spell, I can end winter myself." Even though the Warlock tried to kill you, you can't help but asking Deborah, how can he live without hands? Deborah puts her other arm around the Warlock. "He's my responsibility now, just like when he was a kid. It's going to be up to me to keep him out of trouble." "That doesn't sound like fun," you tell her. Deborah rolls her red eyes. "A big sister's work is never fun. Never done. Go on home. By the time you get there, spring will be starting." The end.
Okay, so we have...
I like how she's like,
sister
"Fuck you, little brother, I'm melting your fucking hands off."
Okay. That's...
Have you ever been so mad at your younger sibling that you melted their hands off?
Sure.
I don't have a younger sibling, so I don't know.
I mean, I can tell.
I am... I am the baby. I am the baby of the family.
Yeah, it's very apparent.
I know. Shut up. Yeah. Well then. Okay.
I mean, I feel like that's a good ending, because that, like,
Let me
is there another...
see. I think we only have... Let's see. We just did that one. I think we only have... Oh, if we go to the next part, there's only 2 more endings.
Hey, let's do that, and then we can, start off the next
We
episode.
thankfully chose the short side of the tree this time. The other side splits into 2 distinct paths, so there's really 3 in this book.
Oh.
Alright, so instead, if we decide to not leave, we turn to page 89. Actually, oh, this is the end. So this is the last one. And then we're done with this side of the book. So we decide to stay instead of going to make our broom. You do your best to wipe what seems to be a crude table with your shawl and brush dirt into a corner with your foot. The Warlock's home isn't exactly clean, but you've made it a little tidier. And you're eager to get out of this possibly plague-ridden place. You step outside and gratefully inhale fresh air. The Warlock is perched on a nearby stone, examining a dead squirrel in his hands. I could cook for you, you suggest. The Warlock snorts. I don't need a cook. Watch this. You gasp in horror as he slices open the squirrel fur and with one sharp fingernail rips the skin off, tossing the fur to the side. He places the squirrel body on the snow and squats beside it. Then he holds his hands over the squirrel and begins rapidly clapping. It's a strange rhythm, much too irregular to keep track of. The snow around the squirrel quickly melts and the flesh starts to sizzle. That's amazing, you say. I can't believe you can cook just by clapping. It's not just clapping, the Warlock corrects you. It's a clapping spell. In fact, that's how I extended winter. Clapping controls temperature. You can't believe your ears. You pick up the bloody squirrel skin and say, well, I see you don't need a cook. Why don't I take care of cleaning this up for you where it won't make a mess? You trudge through the snow and back towards the mill where Deborah is waiting. Before you can even tell her what you learned, she says, Great job! Now I know what to do. I didn't even tell you. My hearing is much better than yours, Deborah explains. I can undo a clapping spell myself, but we need to figure out a way to stop him from clapping winter back again. What about mittens, you ask, pulling off your own? Mittens would muffle the sound. Can you make mittens he can't take off? Deborah nods her head thoughtfully. This could work. No offense, but your own mittens seem pretty shabby. Let's spruce them up with some of the squirrel fur, and then I can make sure they won't ever come off his hands. It's messy work, and your fingers are freezing, but you manage to work tufts of squirrel fur into your own mittens. Deborah uses the strands of her own silvery hair to bind the squirrel tail along the edge of each mitten. The result isn't half bad. You return to the Warlock and present the mittens. I made you fur mittens, you tell him proudly. The Warlock is startled. He grasps the mittens and examines them carefully. You made these for me? I did. I can see how important your hands are, so you should protect them when you aren't clapping. The Warlock smiles shyly, and he glides the mittens on his hands. No one ever gives me gifts. Thank you. This is really sad. He seems really happy. You want to be far away when the Warlock discovers the mittens won't ever come off, so you say, I have some other things I'm working on. I'll be back in a while, you say, and hurry back to Deborah. I'm impressed, she says. My brother may not have wanted you for an assistant, but I do. Come work with me. I'll teach you every bit of magic I know, starting with how to clap winter away. Would you like that? I would, you exclaim, and that afternoon you learn how to clap magic into the world. The end. I'm kind of sad because he seemed like really happy about getting a gift. But he also seems like just an asshole.
Yeah, I get...
I'm conflicted.
Okay. I mean, that is certainly an ending.
Yeah. It did end. It's over.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like nothing will top jumping into a magical tornado and exploding.
Damn it. I am so upset that we got that the first episode.
I think that there's more.
There has to be.
The other side of the book has so much. It has so much in it.
Oh my god, that'd be like jumping in front of Thomas the Tank Engine when he's going like full speed. Fuck.
Oh my god. That was so funny.
I don't know what else to say except for I didn't know that they would be able to top the last one, and they did.
They really did. Damn.
Yeah.
Thank you, Deborah Goodman, for giving us this. Okay, well, that was one half of The Warlock and the Unicorn. There's 21 endings total. We did 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. We did 7 endings of the 21. Like I said, the other half splits into 2 very distinct branches.
Yeah, we'll
come back to it. This is fun.
Yeah.
I like these books.
Yeah, they're so good.
They're so good. Anything else to say about this adventure we went on?
I don't know, like, it's just, how fucking sick and twisted are you to, like, think of an ending where a girl just commits suicide inside of your body? Fuck, that'd be worse than someone killing them in front of yourself.
Oh my
god. That's you.
It's like in Invincible when his dad uses him to kill a bunch of people in the subway.
Yeah,
Spoiler alert for Invincible.
It's that subway scene.
Yeah, it's
where
the
his face kills people.
Oh god. Ugh. It's like that.
Okay, well, yeah, next episode. Here we go.
Okay, alright, well, this has been Turn to Your Doom. And remember, we have a Blue Sky account, we have a Facebook, and we have a Tumblr. If you would like to see those things, feast your eyes upon them, feel free to. Otherwise, remember, kids, don't jump into a magical tornado. Okay, bye.
Good night, Mr. the Missile.